Now let's talk about Angelo McCullom, big defensive lineman, 6'3", 260 pounds. He was a guy who was offered by Indiana, Akron, Toledo, Pittsburgh, and Western Michigan. Ked, what are your thoughts on this young man and what he can do for the Illini?
This kid, is I don't want to say he's a sleeper, but I'll say he's potentially a sleeper. He's from Ohio, and I've had a chance to meet him. He's been to Champaign a number of times. I mean, this kid has talked about player development. That's why he committed to the University of Illinois. He wants to make sure that when he committed to a school, he was going to go somewhere where he felt the staff could suit him and to help make him better. Like you mentioned, he had an offer from Indiana, and that's not, which is a Power Five school. And that's nothing to say anything about Indiana, but he just felt really comfortable with Illinois, and his high school coaches, they remember Brett Bielema and what he's done, and as far as putting guys in the NFL. So I don't, him being on the field right away, I think, he's 6'3", 260 pounds. I think he's at least a couple years away. But the thing about a player like Angelo, he's going to be able to give you that depth. Illinois needs depth at all their positions, and I think this year and moving forward, players like him is what they need to have a roster where if they get injuries, they're not going to be thin, and then we have to hear about it, and they struggle because they're having to put pieces together.
Angelo McCullom committed to Illinois after playing 5 games in his junior year at high school because Terrence Jamison trusted his evaluation of the young man, especially after getting him into camp the summer before that. Injuries cut down his junior season. He then proceeded in his senior season to have 12 sacks in 13 games. And so I think he made a drastic leap in his senior season after he was committed to Illinois. And then I think they believe that the development is still on the rise for Angelo as he comes to Illinois. He is not physically capable of handling the Big Ten at the line of scrimmage right now, and I don't think anybody, including Terrence Jamison or Brett Bielema, believe that. He is a project in every sense of the word, but he's a project that's worth taking because the production was so high in his senior year. And it is an early commitment that Terrence Jamison was able to get that I think could potentially pay off. But you have to continue the physical development of him because they're going to ask him to play eventually, I think, the zero technique, the nose tackle position as he gets to Illinois. And that's going to require him to put on a lot more strength and put on a lot more weight and be able to handle the physical, things that the nose tackle in Illinois' 3-4 scheme make you prepare for, and Tank Wright's going to be a big part of what and if Angelo McCullom is going to be at Illinois.
Ed, any other thoughts about Angelo?
No, I'd have to agree. I agree 100% with Matt. I mean, this is the kid that you got to take and hope that you can build on and to develop him. And he's a kid that wants to be there. So these are the kind of kids that grow up to be when, you forget that these kids are on a roster, and then all of a sudden, you see them making big immediate impacts by the time they're juniors and seniors in college. I agree 100% with Matt on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he's somebody that I don't think needs to see I'd feel better about Angelo if Illinois had better depth at the top of their D-line depth chart. They don't. And so I fear that he's going to have to play earlier than he probably should. But I do think it's going to take some time for him to fully develop into the player that they see and the player that they think they're getting in this recruiting class.
Excellent. So this is the type of depth piece that the Illini need.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if they had a little bit more up front, so there wouldn't be the quote threat of having him to play
Right.
before he may be 100% ready.